The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Window World of Western Mass, a local family business with experienced craftsmen offering skylights, siding, gutters, and doors. WindowWorldofWesternMA.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, we'll learn more about African diaspora culture with organizers of the African Community Festival.
And we'll learn how apple was a much more widely applied term to fruits and body parts with word nerd Emily Brewster.
But first, we head to a place in Westfield where folks can get some of the freshest produce and other items.
Through the collaboration of their neighbors.
I'm not sure I've been to a farmer's market that has so many t-shirt wearing volunteers. This is obviously a very well supported by community effort.
We have over 20 volunteers who come throughout the season, and we couldn't do it without them. We wouldn't exist. We also
set up to break down.
Yes, and everything in between.
And I also love, if I'm reading the logo right, is it the Three Sisters?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
That's been the logo since the market was formed at this location.
The logo was.
It's squash and corn and beans, which are the traditionally crops that the indigenous people of this area grew together. I'm an advocate for replacing the Massachusetts flag with that, as I have heard other people might be too. It seems perfect for us, and it seems perfect for Westfield. Way to go, Westfield!
Yay, Westfield.
Time for another local hero spotlight with Claire Morneau from CISA, the local hero folks, and we are at the Westfield Farmers Market, Whip City, baby. Right in front of a church on Court Street with the market manager, Lisa Zlody. Lisa, thanks for inviting us here.
Thank you for coming. We love having you here.
What is this church, first of all?
It's the Episcopal Church of the Atonement. They've been host to the market for the last 11 years.
So what happened was Westfield.
What's your name?
I'm Susanna Adams. So I'm a member of the church, but I also started with the Westfield Market. And the thing is, the city was going to shut down and not have a market. Mm-hmm. And Debbie Rangio and Peter Langmore, members of the church, they said, that's ridiculous. You cannot have this town with no farmer's market. And so she talked to our then rector and said, can we host it on our lawn? So that's how it started.
Nice,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful market. There's a lot of vendors here.
Walking distance from a lot of places that could benefit from having the market, you know. Yeah.
How long has the market lived here at the church?
Since 2015.
10 years? Good for you.
Where was it before?
Originally it was on the green before they ripped up the green and turned it into the whatever
brown.
it is now.
Or maybe
but
a black.
Parking was terrible, so it was hard. But then it was over on Franklin Street outside of the dollar store parking lot. Terrible place, not accessible to most people, and very unpleasant because it was hot as heck. After that happened, that's when it just started dwindling, and so they said, well, why are we even having this? We don't need this. And that's when Debbie and Peter said, that's ridiculous. We need a farmer's market in this community. So
Why do you think you need a farmer's market in this community? There was a Mass Live story a bunch of years ago that said that there's a glut of farmers markets in the valley, that every town doesn't need a farmer's market.
What? That's a good problem to have. You're wrong, Mass Live. The end.
What's your take on that?
Well, Westfield we have many farmers here directly, but we have folks here with no transportation. They don't own cars. They can't get to markets that are outside of the town. Church members have been volunteers. Some folks have volunteered here for the full life of the market, and it's a very vibrant committee that run the market. We're all volunteer, and we host nonprofits. We have the city come and do voter registration, which is another service that not everybody is actively pursuing, other folks who are eligible to vote. We have vendors who come from Worcester, from Greenfield, from Chicopee, and we're smaller than Springfield. We have some benefits. We have free parking, and
we've been told. I was told by a vendor that who goes to multiple markets on different days said that this was actually her favorite because the people that volunteer. My husband does tear down. Helps the vendors tear down their stuff, which other markets don't do that.
Oh yeah, nice. It's hard to put up a pup tent all by yourself, although Khalees and I know how to do it.
Yeah. So we have a reputation for being a good spot for vendors as well as for people. And the people in there, we have some lower income people who they can come and get fresh fruits and vegetables. So
Yeah, we're looking at your snap wooden
nickels. Don't take any wooden nickels, and except for if they're snap and hip wooden nickels. And then, no, please take them.
Actually, for hip, we have things called hip slips, and those are, we don't use.
I have one of those every time I get up out of a chair.
Me too, I'm getting old. I get it, I understand. But and our snap match is a big draw for customers. We match up to $15 per customer per week. And on top of the now increased hip to $40 a month, folks are in a better position than they were a month or so ago in terms of how much food they're able to bring home.
Yeah, and just to bring everybody back up to speed, SNAP is Food Stamp Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. HIP is the Massachusetts-based program, the Healthy Incentives Program that reimburses your SNAP dollars if you spend them with certain vendors on fresh and healthy food. There was a mid-year budget cut to HIP, so people's HIP budget went down, but that it's been restored somewhat.
Partially. It is up to $40 per person. Previously, it had been $40 for families of one or two, then $60, and then $80 depending on family size. It had been cut to $20 across the board, which was disastrous for many of our customers, a lot for families. And now it's been, as of July 1st, it's raised to $40 a month. It's not the full budget that Governor Healy had allotted and signed off on, but it's an improvement. We did a fundraising campaign in spring to bring in money where all of our SNAP match funds come from, local.
All the
Some
time.
grant writing, but I did an old-fashioned email fundraising campaign, everything from banks to pizza shops, and many local employers have supported the market very generously over the years. The Mass Cultural Council, the Westfield Cultural Council sponsors our music program.
And there's music playing over there right now?
Yes, there's music every day. We have 2 singers per week throughout the season.
Cool.
We were mistaken for some of their rock stars.
Yeah,
we are not those rock stars.
we could probably sit in if we had the right instrumentation.
I have a bass in my car. This will go poorly.
Drums, I can do it. I play a little guitar.
I don't think people think about farmers markets getting grants or needing grants in order to operate. How many grants are you applying for a year that you need to run this during the growing season?
The grant that I do every year is for the music. We would not be able to afford to pay the musicians otherwise. We are notified by Department of Transitional Assistance and MDAR when grants are available. And then if it's something that we think we can work on, we do. I'm working on one now with Bay State Health, who has offered us a very generous grant for SNAP Match. Hopefully that will carry over into the next year.
Do you know what we mean by SNAP Match?
I do, but explain.
If somebody wants to do SNAP, up to $15, we'll give them another $15. So somebody will say, I want $15, we give them $30 worth of coins. And that is because of the program that.
And that's where the grants are coming, yeah.
And just general fundraising.
I might add, the HIP program, which we've been talking about, that is an instant rebate for people who are using SNAP when they purchase produce from participating local farms. But farmers markets like this one that have a SNAP match, that means that there is doubling available for a wider variety of products. It makes the market more accessible for food across the board, whereas the HIP program is focused on just produce, which is so valuable, so important to the farmers, so important to so many of the people who shop at the markets. And there's a big campaign ongoing to try and make sure that HIP is going to be fully funded soon, because right now, as we talked about, the $40 a month is a sort of like halfway step towards fully funding it, but it's not the full amount. But even so, having something like a full SNAP Match program makes a lot more different types of foods accessible to people. But it opens up other funds that people could use for other things.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We have a bread baker, we have honey producers, we have maple syrup producers, we have an organic juice vendor. All of those SNAP can be utilized to purchase those. So outside of HIP, which is produce only, there's plenty of other food items for folks to buy with SNAP.
So this is Sandy Albim. She's our rector here. And so she is generously supporting the farmers market activities, and
I've never seen, so you're wearing the traditional sort of pastoral garb with the collar, but also a tank top.
Yes.
I've never seen this incarnation of a person of the cloth.
And I got their nails too. Hi, I'm Sandy Albim. I'm the priest in charge here at the Episcopal Church of the Atonement. So in the Episcopal tradition, women can be priests, And we can wear whatever we darn well.
I love it. I mean, like the sleeveless priestly garb is the way to go on a hot day.
It's hot to be in frocks or habits in the summer.
Yeah. It's good to break the habit.
It is.
Oh.
So about how many people do you think are coming through the Westfield Farmers Market that are relying on SNAP, either in numbers or maybe percentage?
I'd say probably about 70%.
Oh, wow.
70
Big.
to 75, yeah.
And we know that just a couple weeks ago, the so-called Big Beautiful Budget has been passed, and there were dramatic cuts to assistance like SNAP throughout the country. Have you seen impacts of this already? Or what are you anticipating, Lisa Zlody, who's here from the Westfield Farmers Market?
One of the nonprofits who we bring in on a regular basis is the UMass SNAP Ed, which has been in existence for 30 years. They help teach people how to get the most for their money. They provide recipes that are seasonal, and folks can purchase what they need to make their items, and their budget was just cut. And so this, I believe, is their last day with us. They're out of funding. And Essentia Care Health, which is another SNAP Ed program, are only guaranteed funding through September. So
And the market goes through October, right?
October 16th is our final day, but potentially many people are going to be put out of work. And these folks travel from market to market. They go to many different locations to help assist people in getting the most for their SNAP money and getting healthier food available. And we don't know what the future cuts are going to hold for that, but as far as we know, today will be the last day for UMass, and September will be the end for Essentia for now.
And I think that people don't really understand that the majority of people who access this kind of help and aid are people who are working 2 and 3 jobs and trying to support their families. And there's so many different things that tie into this. Are we paying good wages for good work? Do we have affordable housing? Are people making choices between buying food and getting medical help for themselves and their children? And SNAP is integral to being able to help people afford all of those other things that are really essentials for living. It makes a difference to me as a person of faith to be able to have this market and be able to provide these services to people, because we are here to love one another. And that is a central tenet of every major religion on earth.
It's almost like Jesus wanted to feed the people.
No kidding.
I know.
And also make wine.
What a novel idea,
And you have mead makers and I think a winery here as well.
I noticed that the church also is growing stuff of its own behind
We
it.
are. So this is our Good News Garden. Those 2 library boxes over there are our little free food pantry. That gets filled and emptied every day. The garden supplies fresh produce to the little free food pantry and to the Westfield food pantry. We delivered 6 bags of produce to them this morning.
From your garden?
From our garden.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, 2, you can do it at home, 2 4x8 raised beds raise produce from June to the end of October. And we give it all away.
We're at the Westfield Farmers Market, where this market will run all the way through October. We're with the market manager, Lisa Zlody, Susanna Adams, and the Reverend Sandy Albim, who is from the church that is welcoming them on the lawn here. And it does, being on the grass rather than a paved parking lot, does give it a nice feel to it.
This is the 11th year that the market is here on the church property.
Claire Morneau from CISA.
I want to ask about maybe each of you what your favorite thing about the market is.
For
Lisa?
me, tomatoes are my thing, and having fresh tomatoes is wonderful. We also run a program for children called Pop Club, which is the power of produce, where kids from 4 to 14 can register and receive a $2 voucher, which they can only spend on produce. And we've seen some of these kids grow up from toddlerhood to high school, and seeing the kids come back year after year is pretty wonderful.
And if you tell the kid they're going to get a pop, but then it's produce, it's different. It'd be like, this is Massachusetts, so you're going to call it soda. So maybe it's like students of dandelions alone or something like that.
We had one kid who tried to convince me that a sour apple snow cone should qualify.
Yeah.
Because there's an apple in the name.
It's like ketchup's a vegetable. Yeah. What about you, Susanna? What's one of the things that you appreciate about this market?
I don't push a lot of things. Like I would make a rotten salesperson because I have to really believe in what it is that I'm selling. And this, I am 100% believer in the mission of it, the population it serves, all the people that are volunteer, our friends. I would rather do this than any other thing, and I rather toot the horn of the farmers market than any other thing. It's just extremely meaningful.
What about you, Reverend?
It's a community. I mean, I love being out here and talking to people and getting to know people and seeing what they're about in their lives. So it's a perfect opportunity to get to know each other.
The market has been here for 11 years, but was at a different location before. What changes have you seen in the farmers that are part of the market?
I think a lot of changes came with COVID. Women who had to leave their jobs to stay home with their kids began baking or doing crafts and learning how to support themselves in a different way. We do have several of those folks here who have continued.
So like a silver lining of COVID in some ways, like a new
The other part to the consequence of it is that we used to be actually bigger than this. We had a wine producer, we had goat cheese, we had all kinds of stuff. But when the pandemic hit, a lot of those places, if they were like waiting for an excuse to finally retire and not do it, they just did it then. And so we had to build the market back up. We were open during the pandemic, and it was really, we could only do a few people at a time. Everybody had to be masked. We had to make sure they distanced. It was hard going. So it's building back up. Lisa's been wonderful in having that happen.
But one of the issues that we see is employment. Many of our farms have trouble maintaining enough staff to devote staff and a vehicle to coming to the market. We lost our dairy because there just aren't enough people to work at the dairy farm so that they can come here.
If only there were a surplus of people who were looking for work that could help out. I don't know where we would find them.
On Sunday, August 3rd in Northampton, there's going to be an interfaith vigil for the disappeared. It's a silent walk through town to show support and resistance to people being taken off the streets in our country.
And we've talked to farmers who know people who were moved off the street waiting to go into work and things. And are you hearing about that from the farmers you're working with at the farmers market here?
Not from them directly, but I do know a couple of farms which have been affected.
And No Swell Park is probably like any of those farms who may have those workers still are trying to protect their workers as much as they're able.
So it's a bright light in a not very good time period for us. I mean, the country, as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to get too political, but we want to keep offering this as a sign of hope.
And a good reminder that Jesus is also an immigrant story.
And this is about our faith and about our humanity. And one can't go without the other, in my book.
The future's uncertain, and so we're trying to keep things as level as we can for the folks who need it the most.
Only 2 little fishes and 5 loaves of bread.
Thanks again to Lisa Zlody, Susanna Adams, and the Reverend Sandy Albim from Westfield Farmers Market, and Claire Morneau from CISA. You can find out more about all of our local heroes and our local farmers markets at buylocalfood.org.
Coming up, we'll meet a trio of folks presenting the African Community Festival on August 9th in Springfield.
We might meet more than a trio.
We are going
of
to meet
folks.
more than them. There are
babies in the green room, so that may mean they are on the show.
Cutest.
Yes, they are. And we will learn why the Adam's apple is in your throat and not on a tree with word nerd Emily Brewster.
Next, you're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar, homegrown in Hatfield, Massachusetts, and providing energy savings for their customers for over 10 years. Learn more at northeast-solar.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop.
It's so cold in this building. Why?
See, I told you we have plenty of air conditioning here at NEPM.
Khalees, I was just telling Monty that I am like, I feel like I'm actively melting.
Yeah, come here. You won't melt. You'll return to the iceberg that you once were instead of melting into the Arctic Sea.
NEPM satellite offices of Merriam-Webster in Springfield. Happy to be so. I should mention, I know that there's another, that podcast that we used to do. There was a subsequent couple episodes of it, right? What do you know about that, Emily Brewster?
Indeed. We released a 3-part episode of Merriam-Webster's podcast Word Matters, done in collaboration with NEPM. It is no longer being recorded regularly, but we did a special episode that is a lengthy interview with a former president and publisher of Merriam-Webster, John Morse. And his tenure at Merriam-Webster spanned some very interesting years to anybody who has an interest in lexicography or in publishing in general. It was under his supervision that we started printing paperback books, and also that we moved to internet publishing, which was sort of a big deal.
Yeah, other dictionaries went out of business because they didn't know how to handle it at the beginning, right? And you navigated that very well.
We did all right. Yeah, navigating that. And certainly Merriam-Webster was thought of as being crazy for putting our website for free online.
Well, you can find that Word Matters podcast wherever podcasts are available or at nepm.org. Meanwhile, we continue to do the Word Nerd every single week. So fans of that podcast can know that they are getting some Merriam-Webster education every week. And we are with Word Nerd Emily Brewster, our resident wordster from Merriam-Webster. I will say also, NEPM stole the whole idea of doing a dictionary podcast from me when I was on the river. Stole Emily Brewster, too, from me when I was on the river. So, but I'm glad to be a part.
Back.
We're all on the same team now.
Back together again.
Yes.
You and I.
Yeah. We're talking about Adam's apples today, Emily Brewster. It's a little early
Where does
for
he sell
apple
them?
Season, but yeah, let's.
Well, I mean, the early ones are coming in, so it's fine.
I got my peaches yesterday that are trying to ripen on my counter, but let's talk about the Adam's apple.
Yes, the Adam's apple. Do you have a term that you can use to refer to an Adam's apple without saying Adam's apple?
No,
Either of you?
Absolutely
Nope.
none. I will also say that my 12-year-old the other day was like, I think my Adam's apple is starting to show. And I said, well, yep, it happens.
This is the time that it happens.
Puberty.
Yeah.
Also, happy birthday to Enzo, who's a grown-up as of today.
Aww.
Wow.
18 years old today, my other son. Yes, anyway.
Oh,
Anyway,
my goodness.
What's another way to refer to Adam's apple, Emily Brewster?
It's worse. It's technically a laryngeal protuberance.
Yikes.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense because
Your larynx?
Your larynx.
Yeah.
Yes,
your
right.
throat.
The adjectival form of the word larynx is laryngeal. It's all so clunky, right?
So when you
thank
have
goodness.
laryngitis, you have an infection of the throat.
Yeah, and protuberance never sounds good.
No.
It's just one of those
No.
words.
Unless you're absolutely in favor of potatoes, in which case, yes.
If you're absolutely,
You're protuberous.
yeah, you're pro, I am protuberous.
And of course, I don't need to point out that laryngeal and protuberance are both Latin 8 words, right? Those words don't come from Old English at all. But Adam's apple sounds very earthy and Old English. We did not have that word, Adam's apple, until like the early 1600s. Which I think is just so interesting. It's a part of the body. We're good at naming these body parts. We talk about them, right? You just mentioned that your son is noticing a change in his Adam's apple. And so it's funny to me that we went for hundreds of years without having another word for it. Although for a time it was called Adam's morsel.
Oh, that's so much worse.
I'm going to call it that from now on.
Although I was thinking about why it would have been called Adam's apple. I mean, we're going to look at why
We're
it's
gonna
called.
find out.
But, like, is it because maybe he choked on it on the way down and it's just there, which would make morsel make more sense. But
Yeah.
also...
Well, Khalees, right, you are pointing at the big question about the word Adam's apple. Why do we call it an Adam's apple? I mean, Adam might have choked on an apple because... this is a very forbidden apple if we go all the way back to the Garden of Eden story.
It's lodged in his throat.
The knowledge is
Right,
lodged in
right.
his throat and he's not interested? That sounds about right.
The knowledge of good and evil that he ate in the Garden of Eden as given to him by Eve so he could blame women for things for the rest of ever.
Yep.
We don't even get to call it her apple because for her it apparently just went down really easily.
Yeah, we didn't even call it Eve's apple.
She was given lessons and learned them instead of choking on them.
I've learned my lesson, and I don't do a lot of marijuana, but one time that I did, I looked at the Apple logo on the back of a laptop, and I was like, the logo for this device that has the entirety of human knowledge of good and evil in it is called Apple, and it's an apple with a bite out of it. And it scared the crap out of me, and I never did marijuana again.
Yeah, because that piece is lodged in your throat with the rest of the knowledge.
Piece of information, for sure. It's my Adam's morsel.
But the linguistic connection, it's not as strong as you might think. First of all, before the term Adam's apple referred to a laryngeal protuberance, Adam's apple referred to lots of other things, especially citrus fruits. They were first called Adam's apples for a few hundred years, from the early 1400s on. And then, starting in the late 16th century, bananas and plantains were also both referred to as Adam's apples.
Wow.
Why?
Yeah. Well, the Adams and plantains were because they were found in this kind of paradisical environment that English speakers were new to this absolutely fantastic, beautiful place, and they discovered these fruits, and they thought, oh, these are fruits like from a lost paradise.
Garden of
So
Eden.
they named them Adam's apples.
So it is Adam from the Bible then.
Yes, the Adam in the term Adam's apple is from the Bible, but the thing in your throat, the laryngeal protuberance, does not relate to the story of why it's called Adam's apple.
Were there just not enough fruits for them to make other names for these things that they had to keep calling every new fruit that came into the market an apple?
Yeah, basically, yes. I mean, that is also why we have pineapple. It's English did not get a word. English applied the word apple very broadly to all kinds of fruits. English didn't have the word fruit yet. We got the word fruit thanks to the Norman invasion. So before then, we really used the word apple very, very broadly. A peach was a Persian apple. Both the tomato and the eggplant were referred to as love apples because of their aphrodisiac qualities.
Nice.
Supposedly. A potato was called an earth apple.
Yep. That's true in French, though, too. Pomme de terre.
Yeah.
Oh, pomme de terre.
Okay.
Yeah.
The papaya we called a custard apple.
Why do we do this?
Well, I mean, if you just
yeah.
thought apple was the word for fruit as opposed to the word for
That's true.
apple, it makes a lot more sense now all of a sudden.
That's true.
Right.
And there was no word
and
for
also,
fruit yet.
in the Eden story, no particular fruit is designated, right? It's the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
It is not the apple, but apple is the word that has stuck with us. Apple is the particular fruit that is linked with that fruit.
Is it because of the King James Version and because the term fruit was not really popularized in English yet?
Well, I actually don't know how it's referred to. I assume that the King James Bible, oh boy, are we going to have to do a look at the King James
We're going to
version
have to
of the Bible?
we have to use our Apple devices and look through the entirety of the knowledge of good and evil that is how we have access to right now.
Some of us don't
Right.
deal in fruit when it comes to information.
Yes, Khalees
Right.
is
Ironically
a
enough.
non-iPhone user.
I just feel like I should be
Right.
allowed to change my own software without violating contracts and
What did you
Thanks.
find, Emily Brewster?
I found that I need to go to Genesis 3.
That's after Peter Gabriel left.
Genesis, come on, Bible Gateway.
Bible Gateway.
Do you know the Bible Gateway website? You can
I
look
do
up
not.
all these different versions. It's a very useful website. Okay. Oh, the serpent. Here we go. It's just called fruit. We had the word fruit by the time we got to the King James Version of the Bible. It's not called an apple in the King James Version. But again, that idea of apple referring to any fruit was already present historically in the language.
Okay, so we've established that apple was the word for fruit, even though it's not in the King James Version as apple. Fruit is in the King James Version of that. But Adam's apple as your laryngeal protuberance. How do we translate it into this body part? We know it's Adam from the Bible. We know apple means any fruit. We know bananas
Right.
are Adam's apples because they're in paradise when people who only know English come to warmer climes with the
Right.
colonization.
So going from there, it is no surprise at all that the pomegranate was also designated as a kind of apple. And this is true in some other languages also. It is
Right.
called pomum Adam and pomum Adami. And these are all in Latin, actually. Adami, pomum. It had all these words, all these Latin names, and English speakers then also knew the pomegranate. Well, we had the word pomegranate, but we were also familiar, English speakers were also familiar with these Latin words for pomegranate that had the idea of apple, of Adam's apple in them. So what happened next? The English speakers learned a name for the Adam's apple, for the laryngeal protuberance, from these Arabic-speaking physicians who had identified it and researched it and were talking about it and writing about it. And they looked at the Arabic word that had been used as translated into Latin. In Arabic, as physicians, they thought that the Adam's apple looked like a pomegranate, and we don't know why exactly. It could have been like the texture of the skin. This is unknown. This is completely lost.
I'm feeling mine. I'm feeling mine right now.
Monty is rubbing his right now.
It doesn't feel like a pomegranate to me.
It doesn't feel like a pomegranate to you?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for some reason,
it doesn't feel like an apple either.
But they named it. They called it a pomegranate. And then English speakers saw that word, the Latin word pomum adami. Actually, they saw granatum adami, which is also Adam's apple. And then they used pomum adami as their translation of the word pomegranate for Adam's apple.
So they kind of portmanteaued two different types of apples together.
It's an apple.
Well,
apple.
no. I mean, they looked at one Latin synonym of the word pomegranate and they used a different one. And that other one also translates as Adam's apple.
And so it's from Arabic doctors who were kind of saying it looked like a pomegranate that we then got from Arabic to Latin to English to Adam's apple.
Exactly. Isn't that just the most convoluted thing?
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there were later these stories made up about it being Adam choking on the apple, right? Like all that came later. And those stories are still prevalent. I mean, the internet will probably tell you that on multiple websites. ChatGPT may tell you even that, unless ChatGPT has been informed by Merriam-Webster's website, which has the correct information.
Don't ever listen to that AI Google stuff. It's wrong all the time.
All the time. Just swear at it so that it'll stop giving you the option.
Yeah. I Googled to see, there was all this AI stuff about Rachel Maddow going around, and I Googled to see if any of this was true. And it said it was true, even though I knew it wasn't true. And I was like, we're in big trouble.
This is not necessarily what AI is supposed to be doing.
No.
And frankly,
talk to whales.
Dory. What are you doing? What are you doing?
We learned about that last week.
Yeah, but
Okay,
this is no more or less convoluted than us just calling everything an apple.
I guess you're right. And we're back to the
true.
computer again.
Okay, but here, I've got another funny thing for you. Do you know what the word pineapple first referred to?
No.
Wait, did it not just refer to
Is it another body part?
No, and it makes so much more sense.
Okay.
It referred to a pine cone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that
the
makes sense.
fruit of the pine tree.
A pineapple. And then you look at a pineapple, and it looks like a pine cone a little bit, and it's like its shell.
Yeah, I follow a lot of other language bloggy things, and one of them was looking at the word for pineapple and all these other languages and how similar they are, and then it gets to English, and they're like, "What are you even doing?"
Yeah.
Ananas.
What are
anyas,
we doing?
Yeah. Mon petit ananas.
Pineapple.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
I guess it just means that we can't quite shake the previous habits that we had of still calling it all apples.
Yeah, that would make every season apple season practically then.
I mean, according to this, yes, everything is apple season, except when it's berry season. Berries are somehow their own thing.
Nope, those are bush apples.
Oh, God. That sounds like a malady. I can't come over. I've got a case of the bush apples.
Note, Khalees said that. Monty's
I'm just staying
reserving
quiet.
better judgment. Sometimes.
I said it sounds terrible, and I was right.
Well, maybe next time we'll get into the etymology of where the weenus comes from. I love that. That's the fleshy part of your elbow.
It comes from when you eat a bushel of bush apples.
I like to describe Cape Cod as my arm, and I always say Chatham is the weenus. And I want a T-shirt that says Chatham is the weenus.
I don't think Chatham would be very happy about that.
I don't care. I love it. Well, I really appreciate, especially given that my 12-year-old is now experiencing Adam's apple firsthand, to know where this term comes from. And it is certainly better than laryngeal protuberance, but perhaps not quite as good as Adam's morsel, which I think I'm going to continue to call it from now on.
Excellent.
Yeah. And if you have a question for the Word Nerd, be it about body parts or what have you, send it our way, thefab413@nepm.org, and we will ask it on your behalf. And once again, even though the heat wave is supposed to break today, Emily Brewster, you are welcomed into the air-conditioned offices of NEPM at any time.
Thank you.
Want to learn more about your Afro-diasporic neighbors right here in Western Mass?
Lucky for you, there's a celebration in Springfield that can help us all out in that regard. We're learning more about the African Community Festival next.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. August 9th is the third annual African Community Festival, once the African Community Cookout, bringing folks from several of the 66 nations of the African continent and the Caribbean together.
The celebration features food, music, dancing, health outreach initiatives, vendors, a backpack drive, and more. It's held by the Unity Hearts Foundation, and with us to talk about the occasion are Naefia Padi, Emmanuel Owusu, and Doreen Dawes. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You also, Emmanuel, have a person on your lap.
Yes. That's my daughter, Lenora.
Hello, Lenora.
Say hi.
This is why we're not interviewing all of the children that are in the green room, but that's what I wish we were doing. I mean, I want to talk about this festival. It sounds so much fun,
but very different show.
Babies just distract me like nobody's business, and all my babies are old now.
Especially like super cute babies,
Yes.
like Lenora and her siblings.
Very cute.
Let's first talk. Can you talk a little bit about what the Unity Hearts Foundation, which is the organization that's putting this festival together, does in the community? Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone listening to us out there. Good afternoon to
Good afternoon to Instagram followers on that phone.
We're for it.
the New England Public Radio listeners. Unity Foundation, or Unity Heart Foundation, is an organization established about 3 years ago, and not just the African Community Festival. There's a lot of outreach that we've been doing both here and back home in Africa. So we kind of added the African Festival to it to kind of enjoy our African culture to over here in the United States, instead of all the time traveling to, Africa to go and have those kind of festivals. So this time we're bringing it to our community.
Right on.
I love it. Where is back home in Africa for you?
Back home, I'm from Ghana. I was born and raised in Ghana, West Africa.
Excellent. Anybody else have born and raised connections to the continent?
I am.
Naefia
Padi,
yeah.
yes.
Where is that?
I was born in Tema.
Uh-huh.
Tema is in Greater Accra. That's the capital.
Yeah.
Yeah. The capital baby.
I was born in Kumasi, but I was raised up in Accra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
More Ghanaian people.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. There's so many things happening at this particular festival. What's different this year as opposed to the previous 2 years that you've had the festival?
This year it's a little bit different because we also try to bring new things. We don't want to repeat everything from last year, so that way people can enjoy themselves, learn as well, and enjoy different cultures, because last year we highlight a little bit about Ghana. So now we're going to highlight Sudan. We're going to highlight Kenya. So this is some of the vibrant things that we bring to...
Get Kari from the other room in here. Yeah. Be your Kenya spokesperson.
Yeah, to the festival.
Cool. And that's important too. Like, there's a lot going on in Sudan. So like something like this, where it's, even though it's fun and it's festive, like more people can find out about what is happening in that area right now, because as with a lot of strife in the world, that not enough people are paying attention necessarily.
Right. And I believe South Sudan is the newest. Is that the newest country in the world right now?
That's the newest country in the world.
So that's interesting, and the differences between those two cultures, both the positive things and we hear a lot about some of the negative things if we're paying attention to the news.
Correct.
But it's good to celebrate the positive things, I think, and that's what this festival, the African Community Festival, is aiming to do next weekend. On the 8th, there will be an event, but the real festival is on the 9th. Did you have something you wanted to add, Lenora?
You want to say something?
Did you want to say something?
Sing.
Do you want to sing?
Garbage truck.
You don't have to sing, my friend.
She's been putting
But
on
I
this
just heard you. I heard you make mention of something. I didn't want to leave you
she
out of the
had
conversation.
comments.
We haven't brought Doreen Dawes into the conversation yet. Here, Doreen, tell us about your relationship to the Unity Hearts Foundation or the African Community Festival.
So I am friends with Naefia, and then Emmanuel joined my family as well because he's an extension of Naefia. So I'm Jamaican, actually. And, we're all connected by unity, by blood, by roots. So this initiative that Naefia created brings us all together. It's family, friendship, it's a togetherness, it's coming together, trying different foods. So we have the Trinis, we have the Africans, we have the Jamaican. It's just a whole vibe. Last year was exceptional. This year is going to be more amazing. The flag raising is August 8th, and that's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at City Hall. That's on Court Street. And then for the festival, it's going to be on the 9th from 12 to 7. So just come out and have an amazing time. It's going to be fun.
And we haven't mentioned exactly where the festival is yet, but it's at Marshall Roy Park.
At Marshall Roy Park. That's
on
where
El
we had it
Paso
last
Street
year.
in Springfield. And the main bulk of the festival is Saturday, August 9th from noon to 7.
What's important about a flag raising to kind of kick off your festivities?
So the flag raising part, kind of initiative that we spoke with the mayor or talked to the mayor about. And, we have a lot of Africans in our community. Just to say, every year we have the Italian flag raising to, honor the Italians in the area. We have the Puerto Rican or the Spanish. So when we brought that initiative, the mayor to accept it and say, hey, this is a good initiative because we have a lot of Africans in our community that we can also honor them to let them know that, hey, they are part of us. Yeah. So that's how that one came up. And
we have to get a tall flagpole for 66 flags to go up.
No, so we chose one flag, which is the African Union flag.
Yeah, the
They have
Pan-African
the green and white, green one with the white stars, like the 52 white stars in the middle, representing everyone. Yeah. So it's not about Ghana, it's not about Liberia, it's not about Nigeria, it's about the Africans. And we created one for the Jamaicans too in the middle right now.
Right.
For sure. It's all about culture and diversity.
That's right.
So how many nations are represented in the folks who are organizing? I see there's 2 represented here so far, but I think last year when we brought in a giant pile of people to talk about
which was so much fun and unexpected at the time.
It was. But I think there were 5 or 6 nations in the room itself. Correct. So do you know how many nations are represented amongst the vendors and the entertainment that you've got for the festival?
Oh, a lot. A lot.
I mean, you got 60-something to choose from.
Last year kind of start everything. So this year it's trending. So we have a lot of Africans, joining in. I don't want to give all of it because I want you to come and see and represent and see what the Somalians are coming to do, what the Jamaicans are coming to do, the Nigerians. So, yes, we have a lot of people this year.
Also, we have about 55 to about 60 vendors coming this year. Last year was about 30 to 35, but this year it went up.
Doubled.
So, yes. So come out there, get some African authentic stuff, bring it home to, show your kids. Let them know that it's all about Africa on this Saturday.
Yeah, bring your kids because you've got a pile of kids-oriented activities for this too, painting and games and stuff. Yes. Which is always awesome.
Yes.
Let them learn young.
Right.
Emmanuel brought his kids here, which is the highlight of my whole day. And we are speaking with Emmanuel Owusu as well as Naefia Padi and Doreen Dawes about the African Community Festival, which is happening not this weekend, but next weekend on August 9th between noon and 7 in Springfield. Let's take a quick little break here, and then I want to hear a little bit about the
Jollof Wars.
Yes, there's a rivalry of food that happened last year. I think it's happening again. We'll hear all about it in just a little bit.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. John Kennedy,
America. Then they call you UCC, you they laugh, baby.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. We are talking about the African Community Festival, which will have a flag raising on Friday, August 8th at City Hall in Springfield at 10, and then on Saturday, August 9th from noon to 7 at Marshall Roy Park on El Paso Street in Springfield, celebrating the African diaspora and its place in our community. And we're speaking with Naefia Padi, Emmanuel Owusu, and Doreen Dawes.
So last year, I know I put a kibosh on talking about jollof because I feel like it's a contentious point amongst the many nations that have it as a dish. But this year, as part of the festival, you're having jollof wars, pitting nations against each other in a battle royale for your palates.
Yes. And jollof is a way to prepare rice, right? Yeah, to make it very simple. But let's talk with everybody in the room here. Is there a preferred jollof style that you will be rooting for in the jollof wars?
I mean, I feel like there might be a strong Ghanaian contingent for the jollof wars.
We always claim the winner, though.
For the Ghanaians, to be honest with you.
There are also best of the best, so that's how we are bringing it all to the table, because we want everybody to vote, and we have a special crown for the winner.
And the way it looks like it's spelled out, is Ghana versus Nigeria and Senegal versus Liberia.
Oh, the heavy hitters first.
And then what happens? Then the winners of each round will battle it out?
Yeah, we're going to battle it out.
Who makes the decision? Is there judges or is it the popular vote?
Oh, the audience that are going to taste the food, so they're going to make the judge, because we don't want to do anything to favor anybody. So whenever you taste it, then you cast a bottle over
So
it.
instead, if you have biases already, you know who to bring to the festival.
Correct.
Taste and vote.
What separates Ghanaian jollof from other jollofs that makes it obviously going to vote for your home food, your culinary background there, but what's in it that makes it better for you all?
Oh,
The pepper.
The Jamaican weighs in.
I mean, we put all the everything is in it, but for me, it's the love that we use to make the food. You just have to make it yummy.
For me, I cook the jollof just to eat it. You know, I know people will be talking about, hey, Nigerian jollof are better than the Ghanaian one. I always tell them, hey, I just cook it to eat it. That's all about it.
I feel like Nigerian jollof is a little bit simpler than Ghanaian jollof, but that's just me.
Oh.
Well, we know where
and
your
they're both
vote lies.
delicious, but there's a little bit more going on with Ghanaian. I'm going to get so many emails.
It's a jollof thunderdome.
And everybody have their way of cooking, like I was saying earlier, because some people will use fish, some will use chicken. So just to bring the flavor, of it, and to make it more richer. Yeah.
What about music? What kind of music are we going to have at this festival on Saturday, August 9th at Marshall Roy Park, the African Community Festival in Springfield?
Yeah, we're going to have a live band coming this year.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We
Oh, I forgot.
Lenora, who's on the lap, is messing with
Lenora knows who all the bands are.
paperwork over there.
She wants us to just come in the end.
We have about 6 DJs that are going to be rotating to show their skills over there. We have a live band coming, and we have a gospel artist who is also passing by to, grace the occasion. So we have few people who are coming in to kind of, give us a good music when we are out there.
But you also have a West Indian dance troupe that's going to be a part of the festivities,
Yes, we're going to have a folk dance as well. So come out. It's going to be exciting. Last year, the music was popping. Everybody was having so much fun. This year, it's going to be so much more. So you don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. And we're still having our Parade of Nations, so you want to get involved. Yeah.
And that'll parade down the street as part of the festival, or?
No, on the stage.
stage.
We
On the
usually
stage, okay.
call on every country there to, come and showcase their rich dancing and culture and everything. So you come up with your flag and, come wave it.
Show us how you do it.
Naefia, you are one of the founders of the Unity Hearts Foundation, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But in the brief minutes that we have left, what's some of the other things that Unity Hearts Foundation will be supporting throughout the rest of the year after the festival?
So we've been supporting our youth. This year, April, we did Youth Connecting for Progress because Unity Heart is all about education, pushing our young ones because they are our generation. So we wanted them to thrive. We wanted them to, succeed and make our world a better place. So we also do health-wise. So we do a lot in the community, bringing everybody together and succeeding from there. Yeah.
And also not just here, back home too. I know, when was it last year? Somebody donated about a big box, cargo truck of clothes.
Wow.
The store was going out of business, so they gave it to Unity Heart Foundation, and all these clothes went to those who are in need in Africa. And I'm talking about, it was about 2 to 3 bedrooms full of clothes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we have 4 to 5 boxes also going to Kenya. So it's not just, we're selecting some of the countries so that we could go and support, the people in need over there,
And you are an official nonprofit of 501c3, so this is something you can support, and your charitable giving, as you keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
And to your education part, another part of this festival is the backpack drive, like backpacks full of supplies that folks might need for the upcoming school season, too.
Right. Yes. And we're asking the audience to always donate for a good cause because we wanted to keep going, we wanted to help community, wanted to come together and, do a lot for the needies and all of that. So we're asking any donation is accepted, please.
It is
Also, last year we gave out about 500 school supplies, a backpack with school supplies in there. This year is going to be better than last year. So please bring the kids out, let them enjoy it and have fun, and bring something home. Let them know that hey, they came here and this is what they got to bring back home.
Plus, if they dance at the festival, then they'll be tired enough to go to sleep that night.
Yes, there we go. It's the African Community Festival. There's a flag raising on Friday, August 8th. The Saturday, August 9th at the Marshall Roy Park in Springfield is when all the action will happen, and we have been joined with some of the organizers of the African Community Festival, Naefia Padi, Emmanuel Owusu, and Lenora on lap, and Doreen Dawes. Thank you all so much for coming in.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
having
and
us.
Thanks to your listeners.
We love it. On the next Fabulous 413, we learn more about a new theatrical work produced by 2 Bard Micro College professors.
Belly is a multi-generational look at Black motherhood and community with music, dance, and spoken word.
We'll speak with producer Haile Eshekol and producer Nicole Young-Martin. Plus, we'll speak with McGovern.
Yes, if you got a question for the congressman, thefab413 at nepm.org. We'll see you tomorrow.